Hello everyone. FMZ.com has been updated recently. We can see that the web page is more refreshing and the layout and functions of various boards have also been designed better according to the suggestions of all users. However, there are many old friends reflecting that they are not too familiar with the various boards of the new UI. And of course, there are many new friends who want to do simulation or live trading and have some questions about the settings of the exchange and Docker. Therefore, in this video, we'll show the detailed steps for setting up live trading in the new version of FMZ.com. A complete live trading operation requires the support of three major components. The first part is our strategy. The second part is the trading account, which is the exchange setup. And the third part is the strategy Docker. Robot. Let's go through the setup one by one. First of all, let's explain the Docker settings. Let's first understand the function of the Docker. The Docker is the carrier of the trading bot. It's the program that manages the bot. It's mainly responsible for dealing with the underlying data, accessing the interface, communication, and other tasks. So it can be understood as the executor of the trading strategy. The Docker runs on our configured servers, so even if the FMZ Quant Trading Platform website has a network failure, your Docker will not be affected. The Docker can be run on local computers, cloud servers, or Docker deployments on Linux, Windows, Mac OS, Android, and so on. It is important to note that the Docker also needs to be running all the time during the strategy running period. When the Docker is closed, the live trading running strategy will also stop. Here we will explain the steps to deploy Docker on each platform. Let's open the Docker, and here we can see that there is no Docker here yet. We'll click Add Docker. There are one-click rent a Docker VPS and add Docker manually. If you think it's too much trouble to deploy manually, you can choose one-click rent a Docker VPS here. There are two different kinds of Dockers. One is suitable for quantitative beginners and the other is suitable for players with certain quantitative experience. After clicking Buy it now, we click OK here and enter our platform login password. Click Authorization. The cloud server will install automatically and deploy the Docker program for us. And for Python language, it will also install some packages and tools commonly used in quantitative trading. We wait for a moment. The status is starting. Now we can see our Docker deployment is complete. We can use it directly. The status is online now. If we don't want to use it, we can delete it here. Click OK, and the charge will stop automatically. Next, we enter the Add Docker manually page. We can see that there are three major columns: Linux and Mac, Windows, and Docker deployment. Under each column, there are corresponding installation packages and specific installation steps to explain, together with the code. It's very thoughtful to provide us with a copy button where we need the code. Manual deployment can be in our own purchased cloud server or local computer. First of all, we explain the local deployment of the Docker. The advantage of local deployment is that, according to the needs of the strategy operation, stop as needed, no additional cost. First, let's explain the deployment of the Windows system, which has both a command and interface version. If you are not familiar with the command line, you can choose the interface version and click to download the program according to your own computer system. And here we choose the 64-bit interface version. After that, decom we will decompress and install it. Open the decompressed program and enter the address here. And input our platform login password, which is the address of the Docker. Here we can directly click on copy and then paste. The number part is the code, the node of the Docker, which is the unique identification ID of each FMZ Quant Trading Platform account. Each user is different. Here you need to copy and fill in according to your interface display. We enter our platform password. When the interface shows login OK, the Windows interface version of the Docker is completed. We click the Docker interface and we can see that the Windows Docker is online. The status is online, which is the one we have just deployed. For the command line version, we also need to download the corresponding installation package. And we decompress it. Then we open the terminal. We open the path where the Docker program is located. And we copy this line of code here. Change your login password as our own platform password here. And when the login OK appears on the command line, it indicates the successful deployment of the Docker. We go back to our Docker list. We can see it is online here. Then let's take a look at the deployment for Mac system. Here we download the corresponding installation package based on our Apple system, and we decompress it. After decompressing, we open our terminal here, and first we enter the file where the installation package is located. And we input the first line of the code here. Then the second line. Here we change the login password. When it appears the robot cannot be opened, here we open the system preference. and find the security and privacy here. We choose Allow Anyway. We click the lock to make changes. Then we try again. And when we see Login OK, it represents the deployment is successful. The above are all deployed on local computers, but when we need to run a strategy for a long time, cloud servers are more suitable. Cloud servers are more stable and less susceptible to external conditions, such as hardware failures, network outages, or power outages. For the selection of cloud servers, a beginner, low-cost, and deployed overseas server can meet basic strategic operational needs. Next, we will use a cloud server to deploy the Linux system. Since we have chosen the Tencent Cloud Lightweight server here, and the server deployed here is located in Singapore, just choose the entry-level model. And here is a help document for a Docker deployment, which introduces the detailed steps of deployment. You can refer to it. Here I will give you a practical demonstration. For specific methods of login to the cloud server, you can choose to log in directly on Tencent Cloud according to your own habits. And the first step is to enter wget on the server to download the Docker program. Here we copy this line of code. And when it appears OK, it means the download is complete. And the second step is to we enter this line of code to decompress the robot. And the third step is to test the Docker operation. We copy this line of code and change it to your login password here. And when it appears login OK here, it represents the cloud Docker has successfully deployed. Of course, Linux Dockers can also be deployed locally, and you can try it. Finally, let's take a look at using Docker to deploy the Docker. Here we use cloud servers for deployment, and after downloading and install Docker on the cloud server, and we ensuring the Docker installation is complete. Follow the tutorial to download the FMZ Docker image and run the Docker. Here we copy this line of code. And the second step is to run the mirror, copy this line of code. And we can see we changed the password as our own platform password here. And we need to add permission to run the image and add sudo at this line of code. And as for the logs, we checked the status of the Docker, and when it appears login OK, it represents the Docker was successfully deployed. And we go back to our Docker list, we can see the status is online. And this one is the Docker we deployed just now. And this one is the Docker we deployed on the open clouds. The above are the detailed steps for deploying Dockers on different platforms. You can refer to them. If you have any questions, you can also leave a comment in the comments section below, and we will provide our answers for you as soon as possible. The strategy needs to be coordinated with the exchange to conduct real trading operations. Next, let's configure the exchange. Before that, we need an exchange account to obtain the API key and the secret key of the exchange. For demonstration here, we will configure a simulated exchange for OKX here. After logging to the exchange, we select Demo Trading here, and then we click on the avatar here. We click on the Demo Trading API, and then we click on the Create V5 API key for demo trading, and we fill in the API name here. Please note that a password is also required here, which will be required in the subsequent exchange settings. So here we enter the passphrase. Then we bind the IP address. And you can set permissions according to your own needs. For demo accounts, choose to read and trade here. We click Confirm. After the two-factor authentication, we click Confirm again, and here we can see the API key and the secret key is generated. We record them. Next, we go back to the FMZ platform. Let's take a look at the configuration of the exchange. We click Add Platform here. And we select the protocol as crypto here. And we select the exchange as OKX. And we should note that here we have OKX Spot and OKX Futures, the two trading options. Although API key is universal, the two systems are different for Spot and Futures. And here we choose OKX Futures. And we input the access key we previously configured, as well as the secret key. And enter the passphrase here. Don't forget to check the V5 protocol, and we name the label as OKX Futures. We click Add Platform, and here we need to input our platform password. Click Authorization, and we can see the platform is fully configured here. Beginner, you can also choose Wax app for exchange configuration. This is a professional simulation exchange developed by the FMZ Quant Trading Platform, which can easily apply for APIs and demo trading. If you are interested, you can refer to the post in the community. Provides a detailed introduction to the usage process of Wax app. You can refer to it. The last part of live trading is the strategy. Here we enter the strategy square and select the dual thrust. We select the dual thrust OKX future strategy here. Click on the strategy. We click copy and backtest here. We click save to save it to our strategy library, and we can see it is here. Because we are using the OKX demo account, we need to modify the strategy here. In the function main, we need to add a line of instructions, simulate changed to true here, proving that the simulation of the environment. In this way, our simulation strategy is set up. Don't forget to click the Save button. Now that we have done with all the pre-work, it's time to run our live trading strategy. Here in the bot page, we click Add Bot, and we define the name of the live trading strategy. And then we select the dual thrust OKX futures as the strategy to run, and select the Docker we have just set up. Note that the public Docker here is only to test whether the live trading strategy can be run. Due to irregular updates, it does not support the live trading strategy to run for a long time. For the trading configuration here, we choose the exchange platform as OKX futures. We have just configured and select the trading pair. Click Add button, and then we click Add robot. And here we can see the strategy we configured will run, and the strategy charts here will show the real-time tickers, and the log information below will print our trading information. So the above is the tutorial demonstration of the new version of the FMZ live trading configuration. If you have any questions, please leave a message in the comments section. We will be eager to answer your questions